Have you seen JinPingMei? I believe the answer for many people is no. Yes, because some of the content in it was too explicit. It was once listed as a banned book. Many people have only heard of the title of the book, but have not actually read it. In fact, during the Ming Dynasty, JinPingMei, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Water Margin, and Journey to the West were known as the Four Great Wonders, and JinPingMei became the first of the Four Great Wonders. The title of the book is composed of one character for each of the three protagonists, Pan Jinlian, Li Ping'er, and Pang Shunmai. The theme of this story comes from Ximen King and Pan Jinlian in Water Margin. It is impossible to verify who the author Lenling Zhao Xiaoxing is, but the literary value created by this novel is very high. The first is its practical significance. Unlike novels, such as Three Kingdoms and Water Margin, which are based on historical stories and myths and legends, they are directly based on real society. The second is the focus of this article. JinPingMei uses a large number of vivid citizen colloquialisms, slang and other language features, which are full of traditional cultural color, and many of them contain great truths. Here we might as well talk about 5 of them that contain the meaning of life. Philosophical sayings. The first common saying is, rich families may not always be rich, and poor people may not always be lonely. This sentence comes from the 9th chapter. A wealthy family is a rich and powerful family. A wealthy family may not always be rich and powerful, and a poor family may not always be poor. This is probably what the saying 30 years to the east of the river, 30 years to the west of the river means. Throughout the ages, wealth has never been in anyone's hands forever. The protagonist Fu Gui in the novel To Live was originally a young master from a landlord's family. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was addicted to gambling and lost all the family property, ending up with his wife and children. These 2 proverbs are actually a kind of advice. Whether you are rich or poor, you must be diligent and work hard. If you are not enterprising and idle, you can only sit in vain. This also corresponds to a sentence in chapter 59. If you don't put effort into it, you won't be able to gain wealth. If a wealthy person wants to keep his family fortune, he must also be determined to endure hardship. The second common saying is, a man has dog hair on his face, and his wife has phoenix feathers on her face. It comes from chapter 73. You may not understand it at first, but what do you mean by having dog hair and phoenix hair on your face? In fact, this is a metaphorical usage, used to describe the state of men and women when they are angry. Dog hair actually means being angry, while phoenix is taken from the homophone of crazy. Men love to get angry and women love to go crazy. In fact, they are talking about the ugly behavior of 2 people after they are angry. If you want to calm down the other's anger, one of you must compromise first. For example, when a man is angry, he has a good reputation. At this time, he should not be angry, but should follow his wishes. A fight between 2 people will not lead to a quarrel. A woman will act like she is crazy when she is angry, but women have a weakness. That is, they are more emotional and like to listen to sweet talk. So at this time, the man should also follow the woman and coax her more, so that the 2 of them will not get angry. In fact, these 2 proverbs from the ancients are also very applicable to today's relationship between husband and wife. The high divorce rate is sometimes caused by a quarrel. Why not follow the ancients in managing the relationship between husband and wife? The third common saying is, a good man does not live in separate families, and a good woman does not wear wedding clothes. This sentence comes from chapter 85. In ancient times, people were generally prosperous, and there were more children in the family. When a man grew up and married a wife, he would separate from the family. That is, he would start a family. The meaning of separating the family meal is property at the time of separation. This sentence is actually an admonition to all ambitious men not to live their lives just thinking about the property they received from their elders, but to rely on their own abilities to create their own world. Bai Jingqi in the mansion created his own career without relying on his parents. The daughter who is married off is the water that is thrown out. The ancients believed that a daughter was no longer a member of the family after she got married. but a dowry would be prepared and brought with her when she got married. The same meaning means that women must also be ambitious and not miss the dowry. The extended meaning is that they can no longer rely on their parents' family to survive, but they must also work hard. Today is a warning to people to be self-reliant and have backbone. The fourth common saying is, "There has never been any evil," and since ancient times, corruption and contention have had consequences. This sentence is to persuade people to do good, and innocent people will be safe. Once greed arises, fighting for power and profit will always lead to disaster in the end. The same is true for greed for money, and the same is true for greed for sex. One's anger turns into a beauty. Some people say that Wu Songui lured king troops into the pass for Chen Yuan, which led to the fall of the Ming dynasty. Regardless of whether it was because of greed or not, Wu Songui, who surrendered to the Qing dynasty, rebelled again because of the temptation of power, and was ultimately ruined by greed. Corruption is prevalent, and the temptation is money. This sentence is not only a warning to the ancients, but also a summary of today's social phenomena. How many people and in the name of the people went to jail and lost their freedom because of greed for money? The fifth common saying is, "Don't rely on the power when you have it. When you have the power, you will meet at the wrong end." From the 95th chapter, don't enjoy all the blessings, and be poor even if you are blessed. Don't rely on the power you have, and you will meet with injustice even if you have power. The meaning of this sentence is that relying on the power of others cannot last long. Once the power of others is gone, you will not have a good end when you encounter people who usually make enemies. Wang Zhen, the great eunuch at the time of Emperor Yingzong of the Ming dynasty Zhu Qizhen, did all kinds of bad things just because of the emperor's love for him. It is estimated that everyone except the emperor hated him, but they dared not speak out in anger. Later, the emperor personally conquered and was captured. Wang Zhen suddenly lost power and fell into the hands of generals who had long disliked him. His fate was sealed. The female perspective of JinPingMei, the use of proverbs, and its tragic ending have directly influenced A Dream of Red Mansions. Some scholars call JinPingMei the ancestor of A Dream of Red Mansions, which shows the literary value of JinPingMei. Therefore, this work comes from real life and is full of strong market atmosphere. The common sayings in it are also the summary of people's experience and wisdom. They have strong warning significance and are worthy of our study now.
Alright, this story has come to an end. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.